Looney Tunes Cartoons is the brand new series of, well, Looney Tunes cartoons, produced by Warner Animation exclusively for the HBO streaming service. An entire series of new shorts ranging from 30 seconds to 6 minutes each, encompassing a total of 1,000 minutes or 16 hours, will be available at service launch on May 27, 2020. Before we get into this, don't forget to hit that like button. It does wonders in getting my content out there. And as always, don't forget to weigh in down in the comments below with your initial thoughts on the Looney Tunes cartoons that we've seen so far. Warner Bros have just released a full episode of Looney Tunes cartoons over on their various YouTube channels, and of course over the last few weeks they have been sporadically dropping a bunch of random shorts. So I will kind of be using all of these to form the basis of my review and my initial thoughts here today. The shorts in question are of course from the first full episode that we've seen, a Sylvester and Tweety short called Boo Appa Tweet, a Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd one-shot short called Plunger, and a Daffy Duck short called Bubble Dumb. Again, we'll also be taking a look at the more sporadic random shorts that have been loaded over the last few weeks, a Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd short called Dynamite Dance, a Bugs Bunny and Yosemite Sam short called Pest Coaster, a Daffy and Porky short called Wet Cement, and a Roadrunner and Wile Coyote short called Tunnel Vision. One of the big questions that fans have had ever since this series was announced a couple of years ago is, what form will these shorts take? Will these just be random sporadic shorts that will be thrown up that you can kind of pick and choose, watch willy-nilly, or will they be compiled into like full block-length episodes? Well, we finally have our answer with Warner Bros uploading the first full episode to their YouTube channels, and essentially this takes on the form of a 10-minute block which includes a bunch of little episodes. It of course kicks off with a 6-minute Sylvester and Tweety short, it ends with a 3-minute Daffy Duck short, and in the middle there's this short little Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd gag that goes for 30 seconds. It's essentially like a bridging sequence that ties this whole thing together. And it kind of is like a little throwback to the classic Bugs Bunny shows and the Porky Pig shows and all that, which did play a bunch of shorts and then had little bridging sequences in between. And you know what? I really love this idea. I love this idea that there is a structure to these and we're essentially just getting these big 10-minute chunks, these blocks of cartoons. I mean, it would be all right to be able to just skim through and kind of pick and choose, watch whatever shorts you want in what order you want. But where's the fun in that? I mean, Looney Tunes have been on television since the 1960s. So there have been generations of children who have grown up waking up on a Saturday or a Sunday morning and just watching whatever cartoons were on TV. And how fun was that? How fun was that, waking up and just watching whatever was on? As I'm filming this, it is a Sunday morning. I've woken up very early, watched a bunch of these Looney Tunes cartoons before filming this. I gotta tell you, filming with a bundle of nostalgia. I was sitting here, eating my breakfast, just smiling, just enjoying these cartoons, like the days when I was a kid and I'd wake up on a weekend and just watch cartoons on TV. Whether that be Looney Tunes or Tom and Jerry or Hanna-Barbera shows or The Simpsons or whatever, it just took me back to those early days when I was a kid watching cartoons on a Saturday or a Sunday morning. Now, as far as the style of the shorts themselves, whether that be in the narrative style or the visual style, kind of the animation, the storytelling, the humor, one of the biggest selling points, if not the biggest selling point of this series for myself and for a lot of big Looney Tunes fans out there, is that this series promises to give various different artists a chance to put their own creative spins on these characters and their visual styles. Now, this of course does harken back to the classic days of golden age of animation, where you had different units, different directors producing shorts, putting their own different spins on the characters and their world. There is not one overarching Looney Tunes style. The Looney Tunes style really encompasses the work of a whole bunch of incredibly different artists and storytellers. Over the last couple of decades though, we've had this real kind of uniform Looney Tunes style, and I feel like it's almost been like they've picked bits from here, picked bits from there, and formed like this real, I guess, homogenized Looney Tunes style. I think it's finally time that we get back to those original ideals of giving individual artists a chance to tell their own individual one-shot stories. And I really love it. The animation of this series is really, really beautiful. And of course, it is a digitally produced series. This isn't like produced on cells with ink and paint. But as far as I'm aware, a vast majority of it has been traditionally animated as far as, computerized traditional animation goes. And you can really tell because the style of this animation it's really beautiful. It's really schmick, and the movement here is fantastic. And what I really love about it is the artists here have gone to all lengths to make these look and feel like the classic cartoons. It's hard to say, but it feels like there's a substance, there's a texture, there's something that feels so tangible about the animation in this series that makes it feel like you are looking at cell animation. This is a little bit of a generalization because all of these shorts actually do have their own kind of unique style, which is what we've been promised. Some of the shorts, like the Sylvester and Tweety one, in a short that feels very much like maybe late 1950s Looney Tunes, stuff that didn't really exactly feel like cell and ink and paint stuff, very flat. And then you've got something like the Bugs Bunny and Yosemite Sam short, which actually feels like a 1940s ink and paint on cell cartoon. If you look at the backgrounds look like they've been drawn in these gorgeous watercolors, and then you've got these characters that really stand out from it, almost in like a 3D style, where you can see that there's a difference there. As far as the humor goes, I mean, this is pretty spot on. This is almost, I guess, the most spot on we have had since Chuck Jones produced his last Looney Tunes cartoons in the 1990s. These feel very organic, and it feels like the structuring of the gags and the types of gags that are presented in here are very much inspired by those classic Looney Tunes gags of the 30s, the 40s, and the 50s. As far as the characterization of these characters go, I feel like they feel really genuine to me. Like these feel like the classic characters that we haven't seen for years and years and years. We've got this wacky, zany screwball Daffy Duck that I feel like hasn't been presented this way since like the 1930s when you had Tex Avery, Robert Clampett handling those crazy shorts like Porky's Duck Hunt, the Daffy Duck, all those like great classic zany screwball Daffy shorts. You've got a Bugs Bunny in this cool, suave Chuck Jones style, and then you've got another kind of Bugs Bunny which takes inspiration from those early Avery, Clampett, Jones, Bugs Bunny versus Elmer Fudd shorts as well. And so even there, we're seeing a way in which one character is already being presented in different ways in this series. These are pretty violent, pretty full-on Looney Tunes shorts that again harken back to those early days that we haven't seen stuff like this for a long time. We've got exploding dynamite, we've got Yosemite Sam's skin ripping away from his body, just leaving a skeleton hanging on the back of a roller coaster. And of course, the voice work here is stellar as well. We've got classic guys like Jeff Bergman and Bob Bergen on board, and of course Eric Bowser is lending his voice to a whole plethora of Looney Tunes characters here as well. I love Eric Bowser, I think he's fantastic. He's been voicing a lot of these characters for decades now. His Bugs Bunny is my favorite Bugs Bunny outside of Mel Blanc, of course, and I feel like he's added something to his version of Bugs Bunny to this series that I just can't put my finger on, but it just feels so much more classic than anything else he has delivered in the past. There's this real nostalgia behind the Bugs Bunny here that just makes him feel so genuine. It feels like the Bugs Bunny straight from those classic shorts. My kind of general, initial, overall thoughts on this thing, I really like it. I mean, I haven't seen enough of this. I need to see more of this before I can form like a full opinion, like a proper opinion. I'm not going to be giving a star rating or anything here today. I feel like somewhere down the line I probably will do like an editorial review on it where I dive deeper into my thoughts on everything. But for now, I really like what I'm seeing. As I said, it's a Sunday morning. I've got up, I've watched cartoons, and I feel like I've had the most nostalgic morning in a very, very long time. And I've loved sitting here and just watching these cartoons and smiling. These shorts aren't hilarious. The ones that they've put out so far aren't hilarious. Like, I'm not rolling on the floor laughing at these. Those classic shorts, I mean, they are side-splittingly funny. It doesn't quite match that immense level of humor, but it gets very, very close. That said, I feel like the biggest laugh that I got out of this whole lot of initial shorts was in that Roadrunner cartoon. Now, the Roadrunner cartoons really rely on the anticipation of the audience, thinking that something's gonna happen, or knowing that something's gonna happen, and then kind of flipping it on its head and doing something completely different. Now, of course, the classic Roadrunner gag of Wile E. Coyote trying to lure the Roadrunner off the road by painting some kind of tunnel on a rock, and then the Roadrunner goes through the rock, is played out here. And I initially was thinking, all right, This is that classic gag I've seen 100 times. I know what's going to happen here. Roadrunner's going to go through, then Wile E. Coyote's going to slam straight into it. But no, Wile E. Coyote walked straight into the tunnel and got stuck in there. And that's nothing that I've ever seen before. And I mean, that's fantastic. That actually made me really, really laugh. And I thought, that is the crux of that Chuck Jones humor, of making you think, all right, I've seen this all before, and then just completely flip it on its head and do something that you were completely not expecting. And that right there, that is what I've been hoping for from this series. And as long as they can grab onto that and present that to us over the next like 945 minutes worth of shorts that we haven't seen yet, I'm going to be a very, very happy man. I think we're all going to be very, very happy fans. Once again, the entire 1,000 minutes worth of Looney Tunes cartoons drops with the HBO streaming service on May 27, 2020. And at that, once again, guys, don't forget to weigh in down in the comments below and let me know what your initial thoughts are on the Looney Tunes cartoons, or if you are watching this video after they've all launched and you've just smashed all 1,000 minutes out in a day, please let me know. What do you think about the series of these as a whole? Do you want more of them? Are you happy? Whatever, weigh in down there. Of course, if you're new to my channel, don't forget to check out my Cartoon Evolution series. I produce 20 to 40 minute video editorials, documentaries on various classic characters, including the Looney Tunes. I've got one coming up in a week's time which focuses on Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner, and I'm very excited to get that one out there. For now though, guys, enjoy the series, stay safe out there, take it easy, and I'll see you on the next one. That's all, folks. If this is your first time viewing one of my videos and you'd like to see more like it in the future, then please don't forget to hit that big old subscribe button up on your screen, as well as that like button down below for that little extra support. Also, don't forget to check me out on social media, and please consider supporting me over on Patreon. Thanks for watching and have a fantastic day.